Good afternoon. I am going to call to order this regular meeting of the Committee of the Whole for Wednesday, July 10th, 2019. My name is Andrea Jenkins, and I am the chair of this committee. With me at the dais today are council members Palmisano, Schrader, Reich, Ellison, Warsami, and myself, which makes a quorum. So let the record reflect that we do have a quorum. And Goodman, I'm sorry. Councilmember Goodman and Johnson now. And we seem to have been also joined by Councilmember Fletcher. So we do have a quorum on today's agenda. We have one item under the Race Equity Subcommittee and then the reports of our regular standing committees. We'll dispense with the Race Equity Subcommittee portion of our agenda first. There is one item which concerns the appointments of Elizabeth Adams and Ade Salami to the Race Equity Community Advisory Committee. And I move approval of the Race Equity Subcommittee agenda. Is there any discussion? Councilmember Goodman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My appointee is here, and she came down for this, so I think we should have her introduce herself, if you don't mind.
Wonderful. I would love to. I had a chance to meet her a little bit, and I think the entire council should as well. Ms. Adams, would you mind joining us at the podium?
So good afternoon, everyone. I'm Elizabeth Adams. I am a resident in Ward 7. I'm excited to be here. I am a native of Minnesota. My family has been here, as I explained to Council, I'm not sure of the etiquette, but Member Jenkins. My family's been here since the late 1800s, so I'm very proud to be a Minnesotan. I spent about 25 years in D.C. I have a background in STEM. I specifically work in artificial intelligence, data governance, and cybersecurity. So as I mentioned, I'm happy to bring that lens to this effort, just to make sure that communities of color are protected from that perspective as we tackle emerging technology challenges. So I hope that's enough, and thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. Very impressive background and lifelong Minnesotan. We really appreciate your service to this committee. And I might just say a word about 8th Ward resident Ade Salami, who is also the policy aide to Councilmember Cunningham. And so we're very excited to nominate her to serve on the Race Equity Subcommittee as well. And for the clerk, we have been joined by Council Members Gordon and Council President Bender. And if there's any other discussion, or if there's no other discussion, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. And that item carries. Congratulations. Thank you, Ms. Adams. Next, we will receive reports from the standing committees on matters to be considered by the full council at our regular meeting this coming Friday. And we'll begin with the Economic Development and Regulatory Services Committee and its chair, Councilmember Goodman.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. The Economic Development and Regulatory Services Committee is bringing 11 items forward for approval on Friday. Item number 1 is a major appointment. This is the appointment of the Director of Regulatory Services, and we had a very nice public hearing for Kim Keller, and the committee unanimously recommended approval of Kim Keller to be the Director of Reg Services for a term ending in 2020. Item number 2 is an on-sale liquor license for Gray's Provisions and Libations. Item 3 is a on-sale liquor license for Beacon Social House. Item 4 are the liquor license approvals, and 5 are the renewals. Item 6 are the gambling license approvals, and 7 is the renewals. Item 8 is business license operating conditions for this really cute little flower truck called Majoli as part of the small Small and Innovative Emerging Business Pilot Program. Item number 9 is a contract with Employ Milwaukee for Midwest Regional Workforce Development Services. Item 10 is a contract with Ramsey County for their Workforce Solutions Workforce Development Program. And item number 11 is authorizing allocations to Hired, Twin Cities Rise, and Jewish Family and Children's Services under our Minneapolis Pathways Agreement. I'll note that in committee they told us all kind of the pathways that they're pursuing, some IT, some manufacturing, some are even doing truck driving. So it's really interesting kinds of career services that they're providing training in. So with that, I will be moving items 1 through 11 for approval on Friday. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions? Thank you, Councilmember Goodman. Any questions? Seeing none, we will move to the next committee report, the Housing Policy and Development Committee, given by its chair, Councilmember Gordon.
Thank you very much, Vice President. The Housing Policy and Development Committee is bringing forward 4 items. The first is the tax increment financing approval for 14th and Central. We just call it the 14th and Central project. The second item is approving an additional funding of up to $375,000 from the Affordable Housing Trust Fund contingency pool for the Maya Commons project located near Van Cleef Park. Third item is a resolution acknowledging support of various projects for the 2019 Hennepin County Transit-Oriented Development Program applications. And the final item coming from the committees confirming the mayoral appointment of Andrea Brennan for the unexpired 3-year term that actually ends at the end of this year, that was opened up because of the retirement of Chuck Lutz. I can answer any questions on any of those items.
Thank you, Councilmember Gordon. Are there any questions? Seeing none, we will move to the next committee report, the Public Health, Environment, Civil Rights, and Engagement Committee. And in the absence of Councilmember Cunningham, we'll hear from Councilmember Gordon.
Thank you so much. Happy to give that report as well. There are 3 items coming forward from the Public Health, Environment, Civil Rights, and Engagement Committee. First is a site agreement with AmeriCorps. This is to host 2 opioid response AmeriCorps individuals to help us address this crisis in our city. Second item is accepting a grant from the Minnesota Department of Agriculture of about $53,000 to provide technical assistance to new and established restaurants or other food establishments in the city. And the third item is accepting a grant of $200,000 for assistance in establishing an opioid response program. That's all.
Are there any questions? Thank you, Councilmember Gordon. The next committee report is the Public Safety and Emergency Management Committee. And in absence of Councilmember Connell, we will hear from the Vice Chair, Councilmember Fletcher.
Thank you, Council Vice President. Public Safety and Emergency Management Committee is bringing forward 2 items. They're both approvals of buyback agreements with sports facilities downtown.
Thank you, Councilmember Fletcher. Are there any questions? Seeing none, the next committee report is the Transportation and Public Works Committee, given by its chair, Councilmember Wright.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. The committee will be forwarding 7 items. Item 1 regards the large block event for X Games. Item 2 is a contract with Tower Site Innovation District to implement aspects of that project on 4th Street Southeast. Items 3 through 6 are utility-related work regarding the 11th Avenue South Bridge. And the final item is a bid for liquid chlorine. I will stand for questions.
Thank you, Councilmember Wright. Are there any questions? Seeing none, the next committee report is the Ways and Means Committee, given by its chair, Councilmember Warsame.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. The Ways and Means Committee brings 16 items to the full council on Friday. And items number 1, 2, and 3 are legal settlements. Item number 4 is a customization of contract with Baker Tilly for information technology and cybersecurity audit services. Item number 5 is a contract amendment for the convention center. Item number 6 is a bid. Item number 6 and 7 are bid for the public. Item number 6 is a bid for Minneapolis Convention Center, and item number 7 is a bid for the public service building project. Item number 8 is a contract amendment for the public service building. Item number 9 is a contract amendment also for the public service building. Item number 10 is a contract amendment for the public service building. Item number 11 is a contract amendment for the public service building. Item number 12 is a contract amendment for the public service building. Item number 13 is a contract amendment for the public service building. Item number 14 is another contract amendment for the public service building. Item number 15 is a contract amendment for the public service building. And item number 16 is a request for proposal for best value construction services for the impound facility improvements project. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Councilmember Warsame. Are there any questions? See no questions. The next committee report is the Zoning and Planning Committee, given by its chair, Councilmember Schrader.
Thank you, Council Vice President. The Zoning and Planning Committee has one item to bring up. It's the denial of an application at 3443 Lindale Avenue South. And I'll stand for any questions.
Are there any questions? Thank you, Councilmember Schrader, for that very brief report. And seeing that there is no further business before this committee, we are adjourned.